All right, y'all, today we got a Tim Duncan build. Shout out to this guy for letting me know to make an 03 Tim Duncan build. This is one of the harder NBA players to make in this year's builder because Tim Duncan is such a good defender as well as such a good offensive player, especially from the post and the mid-range, that making a build that plays like Tim Duncan is actually pretty difficult. I think I did an okay job here. There's obviously going to be some deficiencies that I can't make it perfect, but as you can see here on the left side, power forward, you can go center here too if you want. 6'11", 250, and 7'3". These are all Tim Duncan's actual measurements. I got them from Basketball Reference, so we are going to be using these measurements on the build today. You can see the maximum attribute potential on the screen here as well as the detailed view. You can get up all the way to a shredded body type with this build, so you're going to be able to be big and burly. Tim Duncan was never super burly on the court, but it does help a lot in this year's 2K. I'm just going to continue, show you guys all the attributes, and we're going to go through every single one, starting with the close shot here. Close shot at an 87 is very, very nice to have. We're going to get the gold float game, gold hit specialist, as well as silver paint prodigy. Now, Tim Duncan was obviously a really good close shot master. He was super good at knocking them down. Obviously, the reason I have it here is because I wanted the post control at 91, and then there's nothing else I'd rather put any attribute points into other than getting the close shot up to an 87 here. Like, would I rather put like one attribute on driving dunk or two attributes on driving layup? Nope, we're going close shot 87. It's just a valuable attribute at that point in the build. So 75 driving layup will unlock a bunch of good animations for your layups. What I would actually like to do, now looking at this one more time here, I'm going to lower the free throw to an 80 and actually get the driving layup up to a 76. The reason for this, I didn't even think about this beforehand, is if you go to the layups, we just need to make sure layup style. So Bam Adebayo layup style is 76 driving layup, and he has one of the most insane floaters in the game. With this build, Tim Duncan with an 87 close shot and a 76 driving layup, you're going to be able to shoot floaters with this Bam Adebayo floater, and it is absolutely insane. You can get such long floaters from like basically the 3-point line and just knock them down from the corners from driving to the lane. Floaters are very good this year, and Bam Adebayo floater is the best for bigs, and having a 76 driving layup does unlock that. Driving dunk at a 71. The reason we have it at a 71 here is just because if you want to throw some cap breaker potential on this attribute, you can use one attribute. It'll get you up to a 75, which unlocks a bunch of different driving dunk animations. 75 driving dunk should be more than enough on this build. I'm very happy with that. 81 driving dunk is a rise up silver. That's the only reason we have it there, so that is why we have the standing dunk at 81. Obviously on my Tim Duncan build, I do want to be able to bully people in the paint. Tim Duncan is a super good close shot player, and the reason his post control is so high is because he's Tim Duncan. And obviously for Tim Duncan, this would probably be closer to like 99 or so. He was a menace in the paint, especially for the post fades. So actually this attribute, the 91 post control, can be upgraded to 95. It gives you +4 from only using 2 cap breakers. So it's a very cheap cap breakered up attribute. You can get a maximum of up to a 98 post control in this build. Unfortunately, you're not able to get up to 99. And then there's actually no really point in getting up to 99 on this build. Use your 2 cap breakers to unlock this post control up to a 95. You would unlock Hall of Fame post up poet, and the other ones are kind of tied to close shot and mid-range shot, and then you wouldn't be able to actually get up all the way to the Hall of Fames for post fade phenom or hook specialist, or unfortunately post powerhouse at this point, because you need to invest other attribute points into like close shot. Unfortunately, the mid-range maximum, I'm going to start talking about that now. Mid-range maximum on this build is an 86 using the Tim Duncan build template with the 6'11", 7'3" wingspan, 250 pounds. 86 mid-range shot is the maximum we can get. I didn't really see a point in going all the way up to 86. I'm going to 85. You're going to unlock a bunch of easy jump shots here. 83 pointer. Tim Duncan never really shot 3-pointers, but in this year's 2K, the reason I have this high is because I want you to be able to play with this build on 2K, even if it's not all the way like Tim Duncan. I'm making it as close to Tim Duncan as possible while also still being a viable build in 2K26. And 2K26, you need to be able to shoot threes. At least an 83 pointer will give you the option to do that. You're going to have silver Deadeye, silver set shot specialist. Unfortunately, it's impossible to get more than a bronze shifty shooter on this build. And if you did want to spend cap breakers on your 3-pointer, you can get your limitless range up to an 83. Get the bronze limitless range unlocked. So if you do want to do that, you can definitely do so. I will show the entirety of the cap breakers at the end of this build here. But the free throw is going to be an 80. Free throw 80 is what I'm aiming for in all the builds. Tim Duncan is a very easy free throw to time as well. So Tim Duncan free throw at 80 rating, you'll be perfectly fine shooting free throws in the rec and stuff like that. Now, playmaking, I kind of chinched out. It's obviously a Tim Duncan build is not known for being a good playmaker. Obviously, he was a totally fine playmaker. He could make great passes out of the post. So that's the reason we have a 76 pass accuracy, silver versatile visionary, silver dime, or silver break starter. It's the best sweet spot of passing accuracy this year is a 76. It works for everything you want to do. The ball handle and speed with ball, these are not touched at all. The only reason they're this high is because of post control. So and speed here, maxed out speed makes me have to have 32 speed with ball. You can spend cap breakers on both of these, and it only costs, I believe, 7 or 8 cap breakers to get all the way up to maxed out ball handle and speed with ball. But in my opinion, on this Tim Duncan build, you don't really want to have speed with ball and ball handle. He's more like a center power forward type of player, and obviously he could handle the ball a little bit, but I didn't want to sacrifice defense, finishing, or mid-range shot at all. So those are the big things for Tim Duncan, as well as rebounding. So we're going to go into the defense now. This is the biggest strength on the build. Obviously, Tim Duncan was an incredible defender. He was first team all defense so many years. And then we're going to start with the 85 interior defense. The reason we have this at 85 is because if you want to spend a bunch of cap breakers on your block to get it up to a 97, you can actually get up to Hall of Fame paint patroller just stock on the build with this 85 interior defense. And I did want to make sure it was a decent rating because Tim Duncan was never a super big shot blocker. Obviously, he was really good at blocking shots, but the main thing he did was wall up and contest shots super well at the rim, which is what interior defense 85 will do for you. Now, 72 perimeter defense, Tim Duncan was never really on the perimeter, but the reason you have this is to get bronze challenger. Bronze challenger on the 6'11" build is absolutely insane. Having this challenger badge and having the opportunity to upgrade it if you use a max +2 on it to get up to gold or even silver, Matt Challenger works a lot as well. You're going to be able to jump at players and get contests on the perimeter, and this build can stop 7-4s pretty easily. 60 steals only there to get the bronze interceptor. It's a cheap attribute. I wanted to make sure we get bronze interceptor because interceptor is a interceptor is one of my favorite badges in the game. Now, the reason we have 92 block is because you're going to have at least 2 cap breakers on your build at this point. So the only 2 guaranteed cap breakers I'm going to have you put are 1 on block to get up to gold paint patroller, and then 1 on defensive rebound to get up to gold rebound chaser. So that is what this build is made around. It's made around 2 cap breakers. It has a bunch of potential for other cap breakers to be spent as well, but the first 2 cap breakers you're going to use are 1 on block to get to 93, 1 on rebound to get to 91. And then if you had a bunch of cap breakers laying around, you can max these both out. Block would go up to 97, which gets you the Hall of Fame paint patroller, and then defensive rebound up to 96 would get you Hall of Fame rebound chaser and box out beast. So if you did want to spend all your cap breakers, if you have like 10 or so, you would have to spend 5 on block, 5 on defensive rebound. You get up to Hall of Fame rebound chaser and Hall of Fame paint patroller from silver, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, talking about the rebounding here, I did spend everything on defensive rebound because Tim Duncan is a great defender. He closes possessions on the defensive glass, and offensive rebound isn't super important this year in 2K26. I don't think you're going to be getting many offensive rebounds on this build because it's a 68, but I had to sacrifice something on this build. Tim Duncan is such a hard player to make because he's probably one of the top 10 players of all time. His accolades are absolutely insane. 72 speed and agility, or 72 speed and then 62 agility. The reason we have these here are just because they are the max attributes. I did want to make sure we have max speed and agility. If you're not making max speed and agility on your center, I don't understand what you're doing, honestly. 83 strength is going to get you that silver brick wall and also a bunch of other silver badges. A movable enforcer on silver, it's absolutely absurd if you can max +1 or 2 that immovable enforcer up to gold or onto Hall of Fame if you have room for that. It's absolutely insane. A movable enforcer is a great badge. You're going to get bronze physical finisher, silver post lockdown, and silver post powerhouse. So it's a very solid rating here at the 83 strength. Now, vertical at 74, the reason we have it at 74 is just to make sure we get the silver high-flying denier. Obviously, 74 vertical will also work for you getting up to posterizer when you upgrade your cap breaker, or just use 1 cap breaker on driving dunk to get up to 75. That'll help you get bronze posterizer and finish more dunks around the rim. We are going to hit start here. Unfortunately, this build does not get a Tim Duncan comparison. We get Derek Coleman, Evan Mobley, and Anthony Davis. 3 players that are very solid. I don't think any of them have the same post potential that this Tim Duncan build has. So I don't know how we didn't get a Tim Duncan comparison there, but we have no weaknesses to report. Strengths we have are a shot blocker, clears defensive glass, defense paint with consistency, and a serious mid-range threat. Sounds like Tim Duncan to me. I'm going to hit advanced, use a legend rebirth here. Obviously, make sure you guys are doing the same. Check out your builds before you make them every single time you make a new build. Check the cap breaker potential to make sure that you can build it around your cap breakers. Currently, I have 7 cap breakers. I'm going to unlock my 8th this weekend from hitting all the way up to rep starter 3. I should be hitting that this weekend, especially with the double rep and the rec that is going to be going on. I'm hoping to get like 50% up to starter 4 as well. I'll be grinding rec this weekend. As I said, looking at the attributes, you have to go to the cap breakers. I have 7 currently, and the first things I remember, first things that you need to do on this build: spend 1 cap breaker on your block, spend 1 cap breaker on your defensive rebound. You should have 2 cap breakers at this point in the year, with the game's been out for more than a month, and it's not hard to get cap breakers this year's 2K. After that, I would actually spend 2 cap breakers on your post control, get up to 95. 95 post control will be super nice. You can spend 1 cap breaker on your driving dunk. That's a total of 5 used now. So you'd have a 75 driving dunk, 95 post control, 92 defensive rebound, 93 block, and the rest you can kind of spend wherever you want to spend. You can upgrade your post control all the way to 98 if you really wanted to. You can spend more on your driving dunk. If you spent all of it on your driving dunk, you could actually get up to a 86 rating, which unfortunately wouldn't be able to get you silver posterizer, but it still would be very solid. Driving layup is super cheap upgrades on this build as well. You could spend 1 or 2 on your driving layup to get up to 84, which isn't really going to unlock new animations for you, but it'll make the floaters even easier that you're shooting. You can also save up and spend a bunch on your ball handle and speed with ball to max these out. You'd actually be able to be a decent dribbler on this build. I believe you get like up to 70 ball handle or so. I'm just going to add it up real quick. You have 15 21, 26, 26 plus 46 is going to be 72. You wouldn't be able to get strong handle on this build at a gold rating, but you would actually get silver strong handle. 72 ball handle will give you Kevin Durant size up and stuff on the 6'11 build, which is very, very handy. And then if you spend the rest on speed with ball, all you need to get up to is a 55. So we're going to up to 44. Then you spend 2 upgrades on your speed with ball, and you get up to 55 right away. So that's Giannis dribble style. In case you didn't know, that's the best dribble style for bigs like this. So there's a bunch of potential on this build. And then if you're looking at this later in the year when you have like 14 cap breakers, I would recommend spending 5 on block, 5 on defensive rebound. You're going to get Hall of Fame rebounding badges, Hall of Fame paint patroller. You're going to be jumping all over the court with that block rating. And then also vertical is cheap to upgrade as well. You could up to 84 vertical. You would have to spend all 5 of your cap breakers to do that. But this build has a bunch of cap breaker potential no matter where you are at in the season in 2K26. That is going to wrap it up for this video here. I will leave the Tim Duncan face scan at the end of the video in the end screen, but that is going to wrap it up, and I'm signing off for now. See you in the next one.